Hey, Lee Robinson here at American Sentinel Canine. Thank you for tuning in. In this video, I want to discuss what protection actually is. The canine community is kind of divided into different groups. Okay, we have the personal protection community, we have the business community, which tends to be more sensory oriented, which is like a guard dog. And of course, a guard dog also can work in the home environment as well. Then we have the sport canine community, which is more apprehension mindset because it's deals with a lot of obedience and a lot of prey drive type of situations for a high level of trainability. Then you also have the police and military, which is definitely apprehension. And the police and military, they have a degree of legal immunity. And while they're certainly not free to do anything, they have laws and policies that they have to follow. They at least, as long as they follow those laws, have protection with government funded lawyers and whatnot that will defend their case. So we're not going to worry about the police and military because that's not going to be applicable for me or most of our viewers. We're going to look at the personal protection side and the business side and also the sport industry to a little degree. However, I don't really want to get into sports too much. I will just basically say there's a place for that, but understand that it is a place. It is a game. Sport is a game, and because it's a game, it doesn't really apply to a degree from as a protection or sensory or guard type dog. Okay. Now, can a dog do both? Yes, they can. However, in my opinion, it's best to actually pick one venue and do not do dual purpose. I think if you're going to do sport, then you should really, if you're trying to win in sport, then have a dog that's specially trained for sport and understand that that dog may not be the best dog in a real protective situation. Could you use it in a protective situation? Yes. Could it be effective? Yes. But it kind of depends on the situation. Okay. So let's go back to what protection means in terms of protection. Now, with that said, a lot of people don't really understand what is required in protection. Now, I'm not going to mention any names here because I don't want to single out anybody or ostracize somebody because the truth of the matter is I might agree with 90% of the content that they say. But if I mention something that I disagree with, it'll sound like I'm picking on that person. And that doesn't need to be my focus. I don't want to do that. Okay. Instead, I'm going to talk about the truth of concept and what it means to have a protection dog in combat. Now, the statement all defense all the time is applicable and valid in terms of law. Okay, we need to be follow certain laws, the laws of nature, the laws of man, the laws of God, if you believe in God. Personally, I'm a Christian and I believe in a creator. And because of that, I will have a judgment day. God will judge me for my actions. And I bring up the God thing briefly because some people are atheists. And an atheist, while there's some atheists that have a moral compass, there are some atheists that believe since there is no ultimate judge, all they have to do to justify their actions is to not get caught. Now, I'm not talking about the person that has a moral compass here. I'm talking about a person that their moral compass is just if you do something wrong, don't get caught. There's no God, there's no ultimate judge. So as long as we don't get videotaped or busted out, we're fine. And those types of people are the types of people that we need to be aware of because they do exist in our society. Let's look at a little glimpse here to get an idea of a certain individual that may feel this way.
Is she really making an excuse for her brother getting shot after robbing a store? In the course of robbing a store, he's literally robbing people. And the dude believes that his life is in danger and he shoot him. And she literally gets on the TV and says the craziest thing you've ever heard. Listen to this so we can hear the foolishness together. Let's listen.
Not right. Police say a Dollar General clerk shot and killed 23-year-old Roosevelt, who showed a gun and demanded cash Wednesday.
Witnesses indicated that the weapon was brandished and pointed at employees.
He got some responsibility, but not all. Right and wrong is wrong. That was wrong for that clerk to shoot my brother in the chest. Yes,
it was wrong for the clerk to shoot her brother. Yes, listen to this.
Robbing y'all. Oh well, the clerk to shoot my brother in the chest. Yes, he's robbing y'all. Oh, well.
So it was wrong for the clerk to shoot her brother. She never says it's wrong for her brother to rob the clerk. Okay, there's people like this in our world.
Call the police. That's what y'all supposed to do. Y'all not supposed to take matters in your own hands. If that's the case, I'll take matters in my own hands.
This convenience store had been robbed several times before this. They believe that the suspect, who was her brother, has been involved in multiple robberies in the area. I had to laugh at the fact of her saying, I know he got some responsibility, but not all. And then I know he robbing y'all. Oh, well, come on, man. If you live a life like that and you believe that to be a reasonable way of thinking, you're probably not going to go very far in life. And RIP to this young man, but I want everybody else to know, look, when you rob a store, when you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. It could end in loss of life. This is more common than people are led to believe.
Now, I like this gentleman's comments here that he's going to say next. So let's listen to what he has to say about why this is occurring more often than it used to be.
There's an epidemic of individuals who refuse to take responsibility for their actions. They want to do the crime, but don't want to do the time. They want to harm people, but they don't want to get hurt in the process. And this type of a mentality starts when people are very, very young. When you don't bring that belt out and you don't show your children consequences, or at least reasonable consequences for their actions, this is what they turn out to be.
This is why here at American Sentinel Canine, there are some types of people that I refuse to sell a dog to. I will, if you have a social media platform and you reach out to us to inquire about getting a dog, I'm going to look into your profile and see, do you conduct yourself in a way that's a cooperative citizen, a cooperative member of society, or are you the type of person that wants to present yourself as if you have a right to trespass on the rights of others? Like you're entitled or allowed to do that. That's not acceptable to me, and we don't allow it here. And with our clients, we do not support that.
This is how they turn out to be. This is why they end up robbing people, because they honestly believe that it doesn't matter if they rob you. You should just let them do it. And there's other videos. I don't think this family is the same. It's another family I heard that a brother or a family member was robbing somebody, and they said he needed that money. We deserve to be out here robbing people because we hungry. That's not an excuse.
So I've seen the video that he's talking about with the other family. The guy broke into a home and the woman shot him that owned the home, and the family came out and said, but he needed money to buy clothes and food. Look, that's not how you get money. If you want to go make your life better, work on a career, a job, something legal, and make yourself an income that actually empowers your future. Don't think that you can step on the toes of somebody else and then complain when they respond, because here's what protection is about. It's not just a shield. It's not all defense all the time. What is defense? Defense means to block, right? So if you punch me, I block. You punch again, I block. You punch again, I block. You punch again, I block. If I keep doing this, just blocking, when are you going to stop? There's some people out there, because they do not respect the rights of others, there's some people out there that are just not going to stop, okay? They are going to continue their aggression until they get hit. Now, getting hit doesn't mean I'm trying to get revenge. Me throwing counter punching doesn't mean I'm trying to get revenge. It doesn't mean I'm trying to rehabilitate. It doesn't mean I'm trying to retaliate. It just means I want you to stop. And sometimes the way you get an aggressor is to stop is by giving them a dose of their own medicine. Now, again, this is not about revenge. It's not about retribution. It's not about retaliation. It's not about rehabilitation. It's about getting them to stop. What you have to do sometimes to get a person to stop is throw a punch. So, be careful about protection trainers that say all defense all the time, and they're going to act as if they're an expert of something, but they've never actually demoed a dog in combat. All right. So a dog in combat, you have to have a dog that's willing to be comfortable in combat if you're going to have a protection dog. This idea that a muzzle is going to be sufficient in protection, It's not, y'all. It's not. A muzzle, this huff and puff and bluff is not enough for a reliable protection dog. A reliable protection dog should be a dog that engages and is comfortable in combat and is willing to remain engaged if need be. It's not barking behind a fence. That might work 90% of the time, but it's not guaranteed to be effective enough. Okay, we're going to look at a video here at a few of our dogs in the past. How many protection dogs do I really need? Look, I'm a breeder first, a trainer second. So we're going to always have a couple, two, maybe three dogs that are protection trained. But a lot of the dogs that we own are not protection trained dogs. They're dogs that we test to see if they have the genetic component to be comfortable in combat. Then if they do, we can use that dog and train it to a certain level. But that doesn't mean we're going to train 30 dogs here. That would be a huge liability, right? I'm looking for the genetic component. So we might have like a dog named Cobalt that somebody was saying, well, he doesn't even know what the guard command is. And you told him to guard. That's called training. It was his first day. We say the command, guess what? In his first or second session, he's taking hits from a bat. It's a plastic bat, but it still hits, and it's got some rattles in it. He's taken whip hits, he's taken stick hits, he's shown a degree of comfort in combat. He's good. He's got a solid pain tolerance. He's got a high drive. He's got a lot of confidence. This is a dog that can be trained as far as we want to take him. But again, not every dog is going to be trained here. We got 30 dogs here. Okay, I'm a breeder first, a trainer second. We want to know if the dog displays the genetic ability to be comfortable in combat. Huff and puff and bluff is not enough. Barking behind a fence, not enough for a real protection dog. Hitting with a muzzle and then jumping back out is not enough, because every dog, I don't care if it's a Chihuahua, will bite once, right? The question is, what's it going to do when it gets hit back? Is that dog going to remain engaged? Be careful about these protection trainers that never show a dog sustain combat. Let's hear what Clint has to say from Thunder Ranch. I love this guy's content. He has some really good content, and we're going to look up one of his videos here. This is Clint from Thunder Ranch. He has a great channel. For those of you that don't know, we have a shooting range on our property. I don't really talk about guns much on our protection dog channel or just American Sentinel Canine in general. But look, we do quite a bit of shooting here. If you're going to learn protection, firearms are part of it.
But I've never been attacked by a block of gelatin. So I don't worry about what it does to a block of jelly. I worry about what it does to this asshole down the hallway who's trying to stab me with a big knife. And if I shoot him and he keeps coming, I should do what? Worry about jelly or shoot him again?
It's not about hurting the man. It's about stopping the threat. And unfortunately, all defense all the time. You could have defense with just bulletproof vests, right? A barrier, right? But that's not enough. When you're dealing with a person that thinks that they have the right to trespass on you, these people, for some reason, will claim that they're the victim when you punch back. But there's an old statement: don't start none, there won't be none. Okay?
And again, and again, and again, and repeat as required until what I want to happen happens. And when they fall on the floor, they're fine, but you can be killed by someone you've already killed. So if the son of a bitch moves or starts to get up, shoot him again. You shot my client while he was on the floor. I shot your client was a threat to me.
All right. So what does he want to happen? He doesn't want the person to die. He wants the threat to stop. I shot your client because he was a threat to me.
Shot my client in the face. I shot your client and what was available to me. Okay? You got a small gun. What's the point? All right? So like, I don't get it. People carry a gun. This is my backup gun. Really? A backup gun. Okay, so here's the thought. If you take this big fucking gun out and it takes a shit, okay, and you need a second gun, why would you draw a second gun that's smaller than the first gun? That's like having Ken in the fight and shit goes south and you get Barbie out. When you get the second gun should be as big, if not bigger than the first gun that you had. The second gun should come out with a set of wheels. Okay?
talking about a Gatling gun, right? So again, these types of people, if you're in a situation where you actually have to use defense, you're not trying to harm any innocent people. A normal person, responsible civilian, is not trying to harm innocent people. But if things go south, you do want to stop the threat. And when your primary method did not work, like let's say muzzle training did not work, or barking on a leash did not work, and you need to step it up, you don't want your second layer to be weaker than your first. That's his point.
Regardless of gender, I shoot him right square in the crotch. Okay. The other thing that bypasses armor, and almost every asshole that you like start looking back at the guy in Dallas, the guy in Baton Rouge, the guy, the Batman movie guy, okay, the guy in the church in Colorado, they're all wearing level 2 armor. Level 2 armor will defeat every handgun you own. You can buy level 2 armor on eBay, people. Your training venue and your mindset needs to change from this day forward. The first thing that muzzle's going to cross is shoot him in the crotch. I go shoot him. You see chest-mounted magazine pouches, and they go, oh, you mean like in an army, like in Afghanistan? No, I mean like in Tyler, Texas, when he went in the courthouse, shot the judge, shot the lawyer, shot his wife, shot 3 cops. Okay, AK-47 chest-mounted magazine pouches. Your pistol may not punch a hole through there. Shoot him in the crotch. Well, this is a crotch, a fight-winning hit. We didn't say that, but it's a good introduction. Hi, my name's Faith, and it's only going to go downhill from here. Okay, boom in the crotch, and let's go to work. Okay.
All right. So, look again. I'm going to say and repeat myself. All defense, all the time is a great phrase. And our mindset should never be to trespass on the rights of others. But we have to realize when we're defending ourselves, we're dealing with somebody that's willing to trespass on our rights. If you step on my toe, don't complain when I push you off. I'm going to let you live your life how you wish. But when you step on my toe, I reserve the right to push you off. And how I'm going to do that, you don't get to dictate. All right. So I might stop you with a shield, but when the shield doesn't work and I've asked you to stop, stop or I will shoot. Stop or I will counter. And you choose to continue, then I now know that you're the type of person that's going to require force to stop you, because odds are you're a crybaby. You're the type of person that is going to complain like that lady did at the beginning, or that guy that said, well, you didn't have to shoot him. Well, he was possibly going to shoot me. He certainly had no respect for my life. So while I certainly didn't want to shoot him, that's something that I don't want to go through. I don't want to go through a legal battle. I don't want to go through an investigation. I don't want to go through the turmoil and mental stress of thinking that I had to take a life or do what I had to do to stop somebody. I want people to live in harmony and get along. But sometimes people won't let you do that. So barking behind a fence is not always enough. Barking on a leash is not always enough. A threat display is not always enough. Muzzle work is not always enough. Sometimes you have to go to combat. And this is where what separates a breeder from a trainer. A trainer's job is to get that dog to its full potential, to take that dog, whatever its full potential is. If all that dog can do is bark at the end of the leash, that's all you're going to get from it, right? But if that trainer can take that dog to go all to morph from barking to a BB, to a 22, to a 223, to a 30-06, to a Gatling gun, so be it, right? So all these are more progressive stages.
Number of rounds fired in a fight. This has to do with like equipment as well. For like 1980s, that decade was the last decade for revolvers. The average police officer fired 2.8 rounds to get a hit on the target, and he fired 5.6 rounds per engagement, which means he shot the gun until it was empty. In the 90s, we went to the Glock pistols, okay? They only kept track for 4 years and then they quit. And all you have to do is look at New York shooting records and you can see why. Okay, they fired 12.9 rounds to get one hit on the target. They fired 17.5 rounds per engagement, so they shot the gun until it was empty.
The point here in this video is that fights sometimes don't stop the way you want. These guns were shot till they were empty. So if you think your huff and puff and bluff is going to be enough, odds are that's only going to be enough against a person that's not really intended on attacking you. All right, let's look at a dog that's capable of going further. Now, obviously, every dog that we train here is not going to be trained to this level. We don't need 30 dogs trained in protection work. We just don't. Okay, we have a breeding program, and our goal is to breed dogs that have the traits required for training. But once we know the dog is comfortable in combat, that's sufficient, right? And as far as the breeding aspect goes. Now, that doesn't mean that we're only going to take dogs to that level. We're always going to have a couple, maybe 2 or 3 that we take beyond that. A dog that will engage just because I gave it the command, all right? And that's comfortable in combat when more than barking is required. Let's look at this video of Preacher Man. Our foundation dog. That's why I show him. This dog is behind every dog we breed today.
I try to go out with doing something different, something that he's never done before, just to demonstrate that I really do know he's a great dog. And so Keaton's going to end up try to put him in the trash can. You're going to wail on him with a plastic container that he's got over here. Use a ladder as a barricade. He's never done any of these 3 things before, or 4 things with a muzzle on. So just something different. Do you have a whip to kind of wail on him from? When we get done, Keaton will take the muzzle off and give him a bite and then put him up. Put him back up so you can see everything. You ready? Go ahead and have whip. Ready? Here it comes. Come watch for me. Put him in trouble. Get him in the trash can.
All right, so if you think a muzzle's enough, that dog was not able to hurt him. The dog was completely willing to be in combat and was comfortable in combat, but a muzzle is not going to always be enough. Let's go back and look at something here. Watch when the dog slips out of his hand over here. He's going to turn around and try to hit him again. Right here, boom. So the dog's trying to get back at the guy, but can't. Never once did the dog try to get away. There he's trying to bite him, but he can't. He tries to get back, but he can't. So if you think a muzzle is going to be enough, even if you have a willing dog, it's not. Not all the time. Are continuing the video. You see, he goes over the ladder, pursuing the man, pursuing the man. The trash can is in the position. Here you can see the trash can is in the position when we got him out. But we stopped and started the video. It is what it is.
Good boy. Good boy.
You can see he's still trying to get him. Dog's committed. But these experts that are out there, a lot of times these experts, they won't ever show you anything like this. They'll talk about their dog being muzzle trained, and they might show you the dog punch, and then they cut the video, and that's it. Or the man runs away, and that's it. It doesn't work that way in real life, y'all. A dog on a muzzle is not going to be able to stop a man. So will the dog stay engaged in combat? Let's continue and see.
Hey, I'm not letting him off of it. Good boy, Breezer. Ready?
This dog's 10 years old in this video.
Hit him with it. Watch your face. Put him back in the trash can. Over here. Watch your hands. Lift it up and roll it.
Flipping on the floor, flipping on the lid, didn't bother him. Dog's still engaged.
Right there. Are you getting tired?
Keaton's getting tired. You can see the sleeves slipped off. He's trying to hold on.
Square up in the grip.
Hitting him with whatever he can find.
All right, let's have it.
All right, now watch. Dog's going over the sleeve to get the man. He's not focused on the sleeve.
Trash can in the other hand. Grab the top of it so you can raise it up.
This is a dog that's comfortable in combat.
Open it up.
A shield is not always enough.
Can you pick it up over your shoulder? And like roll it over. Yeah. Ready? Guard.
I wanted him to drop it on the dog, but because this is, as a breeder, this dog's willingness to stay in combat is more important. Dog lets go of the sleeve, goes back to the man. Okay.
I'm gonna let him engage. I'm gonna put him up.
We're going to do a send here. Not a long send, but a little bit of a send, so you can see the dog. Sometimes it may be necessary to do a send. A dog that only does muzzle work or on a leash or works behind a fence or in a car might not do this. Why would you do this? Let's say a person grabbed your kid and is running away. You don't want to send a dog on a person that's carrying your kid running away, but it's better than them getting in the van and kidnapping your child, possibly sex trafficking the child or something like that.
Run around the trash can.
At least here,
Guard.
you can get your kid back. If your kid gets a broken arm or something from falling to the ground, that's better than being a prisoner of sex trade. The dog's looking at the man. Okay, and off on command. Now somebody might say, well, will he engage on command? Well, let's see. Let's go back to my channel here and look up passive attack. And Keaton's just going to sit here on the side. Now, Preacher Man has passed away, but we'll show you a few other dogs here in just a minute. This is our foundation dog, so that's why I'm showing him. He's not paying the man any mind, not worried about it. We're going to give the command. Now there are some people over here to the right. There's like 3 or 4 people. I think there's some back here over close to the woods, and there's one over here by the side. And he doesn't know who to target because they're all just standing passive. But if any one of them walked up, he's tagging them. Now he's keeping, and you can tell that I kind of directed him this way. Why did he get vocal? Because I told him to. I said guard. Okay. He's not worried about him until I say guard.
Guard. He's like, wait. He's a guard.
We have a cameraman.
Here. Stay.
All right, now we don't need 30 dogs trained to this level. Okay, we just don't. Nobody does. So there's a difference between a breeding program and a training program. Okay, let's see. I got a video where I'm just walking Onyx in the yard. Typical evening walk. This is the dog we have now. Let me rewind it.
What's that? What's that?
All right. So she's on alert just because I'm giving her commands of what's that, who is that.
What's that?
She's looking for her perpetrator.
What is it? What is it?
All right. We're going to go ahead and stop out. If you think she won't engage.
Hey, there's my boy on the couch. There's a watch him all. Watch him. Good girl. Good girl. Sit. Oh, sit. Stay. Good girl. Good. Stay. Good girl. That's a good stay. Stay. Good girl. Stay. Stay. Good. Stay. There's the on-off switch with my bitch. I can turn it on, I can turn it off. She's still clocking him. She wants to get him, but she's going to respect me. Stay. I barely done any work with this dog at all. And this is my training. There's the genetics. It's simple. Don't need to put too much into a dog like that. Just need to get her to listen to some basic commands, and then you got control.
Kick the sleeve in a little bit. Kick it hard enough to hit his feet. So now, the reason why I wanted him to kick it hard enough to hit his feet is so it would be a distraction to see if that dog would target that sleeve instead of the man. The dog does not pay attention to it. Kick it hard enough to hit his feet. So for the people that think the dog's a jute junkie and doesn't want the person, put the whip down. Yeah, so Chuck thinks he won't fight a person. Drops the hat, goes back to the man. Chuck, you don't know what you're talking about.
Get my hat so I have pee on it.
Yeah. What's up, Scratch? All right. So anyway, those are just a few videos. And like I said, when we're dealing with protection work, all defense all the time, it's a nice soundbite, and legally it's the mindset we should have. The goal is to love our enemies, but sometimes our enemies wants to just punch us, and we're not commanded to be a punching bag. So when we are being targeted by somebody that doesn't respect our rights, even if we're a libertarian and we want them to live their life however they wish, when they step on our toes, we have the right to stop them. And when stopping them doesn't actually stop them because they want to continue, then we have the right to punch back. It's about stopping the threat. And to do that, hey, don't complain about your rights when you violated mine. My intent is not to harm you. My intent is to get you to get out of my business. Now, before I go, you might think, well, Lee, why should we listen to your opinion here? And I've had dogs my whole life. This is what I've been called to do. I love breeding animals. I love training animals. I have a master's degree and a bachelor's degree in animal sciences. My goal is to produce the best dogs that I can and then train a few of them to do the job. Now, I don't need them all to catch hogs, and I don't need them all to be able to stop a man. Our slogan was dogs bred to catch man or beast. Catch means we're going to stop an attacker. If you throw a baseball at us, we're going to catch that ball so we don't get hit. And for a hog, you actually have to be able to hunt. So I want a dog that can hunt a hog if it needs to be, but also to catch a man when a man is seeing me as a hog, when they want to target me. Our job is to stop you. So we've studied animal behavior, we've studied animal genetics, and we studied animal husbandry. As a breeder first, we breed the best dogs possible for protection work, and then we train a few of them to do the job. But I don't need 30 dogs to do that. I just have to test all 30. And if we test all 30 and we find the ones that have the traits, those now get a pass in the breeding program, but they don't have a pass or a title as a protection dog themselves. They just have a pass for having the components needed to become one should we wish to train them. So we're always going to keep a couple of trained dogs, but we don't need them all to be. Y'all take care and have a blessed day.